Hey guys, most of the Matt here, and just wanted to do a quick read and discuss review of the roadmap that Creative Assembly just released today for Warhammer Warhammer 3, Warhammer Total War 3. I haven't had a chance to like analyze it in detail or anything. I've read it through a couple of times and had some thoughts. I'm sure that all you guys have got some thoughts as well. It's pretty much a bit of a tradition now. Every time a patch notes come out or some sort of release like this, we do an R&D session, which is not research and development in this case. It's just review and discuss. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's a lot to. I mean, I'm definitely concerned about some stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I'll maybe we can discuss our overall vibe at the end. But I'll just read through. I'll kind of probably just skim over stuff that's not that interesting to me. But I've got a link in the link in the chat there, the pinned comment, and I'll put a link in the description below if you haven't already got a copy of it up. Finally got the window into what lies ahead for Warhammer 3. The roadmap's been released today. Reassuring us this is just the beginning of the journey and that they appreciate us supporting Creative Assembly and Total War Warhammer over the last 6 years. That's great. It's been, didn't really support it out of loyalty or anything. It was just because it's a really fun game. So don't need to thank us. But it's nice that they appreciate us. Just saying there's sort of the general philosophy is that they want to have a steady, reliable pace of releases. It's not really that interesting to us, but just about it being regular. Okay, with May approaching, they plan to release the second update, 1.2. So 1.1 came out. Now this is what's going to come out in the next 1.2 update sometime in May. So I'm guessing it's not going to be May the 1st, but I don't know, maybe it will. I mean, May's not far away. So AI factions rebuild towers too quickly. This is a complaint I've heard a fair bit, that, you destroy the towers and the AI just straight away puts them back up. It seems like there's meant to be even a cooldown that the AI is not meant to be able to overcome, but they seem to just be able to build the towers straight away anyway. Not really sure if that's a bug or just a design thing, but apparently they're going to address that. I'd probably say I'd add on to that it's not just the it's not just that the AI builds the towers too quickly, it's also that the player builds the towers too quickly when you're on the defense. Like, whoever's on defense, the towers rebuild too quickly. Like, I think that some creators and other people in the community as well have probably put up suggestions that are similar, but when Warmaster Moloch, I watched his video and he suggested that they should have a thing where you can only build towers before the battle starts, or you can build like stronger towers before the battle starts and you can only build like weak temporary ones after the battle starts to rebuild them, or something like that. Being able to just constantly rebuild towers all the time feels a bit wrong. But anyway, it's good if they stop the AI doing that. I feel like they should stop the player doing that as well. I think towers are pretty permanent structures. They're not really, it's a bit unrealistic that they're going to just pop up. But anyway, I'm going to try to move a bit quick. I don't want to spend like 10 minutes on every point, but anyway, towers, that's good. Issues when flying units attack ground units. There's been problems with this kind of stuff all through Warhammer, trying to chase units off the battlefield, like kill units that are fleeing and you just keep bumping into them and stuff, and flying units landing and missing and charging off and turning around and missing again, and this stuff's been going on since Warhammer 2. So if they're working on that, then that's great. It's not really like a critical thing, but ranged, like, they need to continuously be working on bugs and getting rid of them all, but it's more like stuff that you just wish that was already fixed. It's not really stuff that we're kind of looking forward to. I guess that's the main thing I'm looking here. It's like, there's heaps of bugs in the game. It's a new game, there's heaps of bugs in the game, but none of the bugs in the game are the thing that is making me not want to play it as much. The thing that's really making me not want to play it as much is the lack of content, which was expected. Like, I'm not as upset about it as some people are, because I knew there wasn't going to be enough content, because it's only one game. It's not like Warhammer 2 that's had like 6 years to get built up, you know. So yeah, so anyway, long story short, there's going to be a few like bugs and stuff in here. Bugs are not as big of a deal for me because there's no bugs currently stopping me from playing the game. It's just really just want more content. But yeah, anyway, range units fail to engage valid enemy target. This is pretty annoying. Yeah, there's all sorts of problem with range units getting targets, especially in sieges. When you're in siege maps, they get confused and stuff. So yeah, that'd be great if they fix that. Demon factions automatically declare war on Slaanesh vassals. Yeah, that one can be really. It can be really disappointing if you're trying to do a particular type of campaign where you're like Slaanesh, you know, running lots of vassals and stuff, and then it doesn't, you know, you can't like. There's a sort of like a sandboxy role-playing type of campaigns, you know, and it's kind of sucks when it doesn't work because of something that seems illogical, doesn't make any sense. So yeah, anyway, so currently there's a thing where all the demon factions will just declare war on your allies if you ally with like Empire and stuff. So yeah, so apparently they're going to fix that. It makes a lot more sense that they'd have if you dominate the faction and make them your vassal. So yeah, it makes a lot more sense that enemy factions would take on a relation to your vassal more akin to the relation they have with you. You know, so if they were neutral with the vassal before and they really like you, and then you vassalize them, you'd think they would like your vassal more because they're your vassal now. You know, that would be the more logical way that you would hope it would be. So hopefully that's what they're going to do. Fix issues for the resulting players getting stuck in the Slaanesh realm. I think that's happened to me once, but it's pretty rare. Like I only got stuck in there for like one turn. Again, you know, bugs suck, especially if they're unavoidable. But yeah, I haven't actually had that one, so I don't care about that. AI factions with an anti-player bias. Yeah, so you know, this has been a thing that's been in like the whole time. One or two. You know, there's always the anti-player bias, and you want anti-player bias because if there's no anti-player bias, then you know the AI would be way too easy to beat. You know, if all the AIs were just kind of fighting each other equally, and they didn't realize that there was a human in the game that was, you know, actually intelligent, then you know the AI would be at a much worse disadvantage. You know, like people talk a lot about cheats. You know, like AI getting buffed, AI getting more money, AI getting faster growth, you know, all that kind of stuff. But they're not really cheats. They're just ways of trying to make the AI be able to keep up with the player, be able to try to make a challenge for you. I mean, they are kind of like cheats, but what I mean is it's not like the AI needs all the help it can get. Is basically what I'm saying. But anyway, so yeah, so anti-player bias. So we need to have some anti-player bias, obviously. But yeah, again, you want it to be sort of realistic, sort of make sense. Yeah, there's a issue apparently. I don't know. Like I've probably experienced it, but I don't know the ins and outs of exactly how it works under the hood. But as I understand it, factions that are sort of friendly to you or that your allies, they don't really get as many cheats, whereas the factions that are enemies of yours will get like bonuses, you know, bonuses to recruitment. Their faction will be stronger, they'll probably be more aggressive. So you know, the anti-player bias can play into, especially because Warhammer 3 is so focused on allies, you know, getting units from your allies, borrowing armies from your allies, using allegiance points to influence your allies and get them to attack your targets and all that kind of stuff. You know, so since there's so much alliance play in Warhammer 3, yeah, they really need to fix this stuff up, you know, like they need to make this, you know, anti-player bias and AI cheats and all that kind of stuff, like play out in a, you know, in a way that's fun and a way that makes sense within the context of the game, you know. Auto resolve improvements. Okay, so yeah, so this one's pretty huge. So yeah, so on hard and very hard, I believe, on campaign difficulty, the auto resolve scaling is really very difficult to the point where you never auto resolve. Like I've put a few hundred hours into Warhammer 3. And I've probably only auto resolved like 4 battles or 5 battles, like literally in the whole time I've been playing it. I literally just fight every single battle manually. So yeah, that's not the intended way it's supposed to be. The whole point of having auto resolve is so that, you know, if you have a battle that's not very important or whatever, then you can just auto resolve it, you know. So yeah, so hopefully they rebalance that so that the auto resolve actually functions and does what it's supposed to do. Also, this is a pretty cool thing. The auto resolve difficulty will be now determined by battle difficulty setting rather than the campaign setting difficulty. That actually is a really cool change, and I think that makes a lot of sense, you know. Excuse me. If you guys have any like points that you think I'm missing or anything that I really need to address or whatever, I'm going to try. Obviously, I don't want to get interrupted too much because I'm trying to just read through this stuff, but it is a live stream, so I'm one to kind of interact with you guys. So yeah, just about right at Mostly the Mad if you want to message me anything directly. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming, by the way, guys. I know this is a weird time for me, but yeah, Creative Assembly dropped this news at a weird time. So yeah, normally they drop this stuff at like in the afternoon, but like British time. But yeah, they did it in the morning this time, so mix it up a bit. Yeah, improvements to unit responsiveness. Yeah, this is a big deal. They improved the unit responsiveness in the 1.1 patch, and it did actually make the game a lot more enjoyable. So yeah, that was really cool. I hadn't even really noticed it that much. Like I noticed it, but it hadn't really been a huge pain point for me because there was so many new things to explore with 1.3. That yeah, it was kind of annoying that the units were unresponsive, a bit unresponsive. But the responsiveness has been different throughout different games that I've played. I've played a lot of Total War games, you know, so I'm kind of just used to things being slightly different in different games, you know, so it didn't really jump out at me as like a huge problem. But once they fixed it a bit, I noticed that it was, you know, much better. But then when I went back and played Warhammer 2 after 1.1 came out, I felt it was like, this is way better. You know, like the responsiveness in Warhammer 2, it just feels like so much better. So yeah, I don't know. They still have a long way to go with that. I don't know if it's like, is Warhammer 3 based on the Three Kingdoms engine or something? Like, I don't know if is the responsiveness of the units screwed up in Three Kingdoms or what? I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, the unit responsiveness is not great. It's better now than it was though, so that's cool. And they're apparently continuing to make improvements. Units do lose targets, so I've had this happen, especially I'm noticeable when I'm trying to chase down units like that are like fleeing off the battlefield, and I've got like 6 different units chasing 6 different enemy fleeing units, and then I cycle back around and like 3 of them have lost their target and just standing there, you know. When I'm in an actual battle, it's usually pretty fast paced and checking on each unit, you know, so I kind of noticed it. Like I'm like, oh, I told that guy to attack, he's now cycled back to that unit, he's not attacking again. But then I just retarget because I'm like flicking through all my units like fairly rapidly to just make sure they're all doing what I want them to do all the time. So it doesn't, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I guess what I'm saying is like I work around it, but it'd be nice if it just worked, you know. Improvements to single entity units dueling each other, single entities. Yeah, this sort of similar thing to the flying units being like having weird targeting and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's something they need to fix. Technology tree reworks. Just fix that thing. Stream stuff here. Technology tree there's been a lot of feedback about both tech and skill trees, so we're focused on improving the impact and power of the technology trees first. Okay, cool. I don't know. I didn't really have any thoughts about the tech trees. I felt like Kislev's one's a bit shit. It's the way that it's laid out and how, yeah, and that none of their techs seem any good. Like, you don't really care about anything. Like, once you get the 2 extra slots for Frost Maidens, it's like I don't really care about the rest of their tech tree. So I guess that's one example of tech trees being crap. The other tech trees, I don't know. They're just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, none of the tech trees are like, yeah, I don't know. I guess when I compare them to like I really like the dwarf tech tree in Warhammer 2. I find that really satisfying. Empire tech tree is a bit shit. Dark elf and elf ones are okay. Skaven and greenskin ones are kind of weird, but okay. They've got a lot of stuff in them, and a lot of the stuff in them is really significant. You know, yeah, actually, greenskins is pretty cool. Like, you get like 10% physical resistance for goblins, and you get regeneration for goblins, and 10% replenishment for goblins, and you know, all this kind of crazy, really powerful stuff. I don't feel like I feel like in general, a lot of the buffs across the board in Warhammer 3 seem weak. A lot of them, you know, like there's not much stuff like like you want, like when you get put a skill point in something, or you get you put a tech tree, you upgrade something in tech tree, you want like it to be like you want it to change your game. You want it to be like, okay, now that my goblins have replenishment, I'm going to start recruiting more goblins, you know, rather than just like, I'll just choose the tech that improves the thing I've already got, you know, like it's not, anyway, so yeah, okay, maybe the tech trees do need a rework. I hadn't really thought about it before, but cool. Leaderboard reset. Okay, I don't play multiplayer really, so but yeah, I'm guessing that lots of people had been exploiting all of the exploits in Warhammer 3, so they're going to reset that. That's fine. Regiments of Renown 1. Okay, so I'm going to add Regiments of Renown, recruitable troops in the game with improved stats and special abilities for use in campaign and battle. But they're not the way that they did it in the old. They're not going to do it the same way they did it in Warhammer 2. So here's the little explanation. In previous games, Regiments of Renown were generally part of a paid DLC pack, granting a set of unique units to one or more races depending on the pack type. So basically in Warhammer 2, you know, there'd be like a high elf DLC would come out, and then you get the high elf Regiments of Renown would come out with that pack, or at the same time as that pack. But in this one, what they're going to do, if I understand correctly, they're going to just give a small amount of DLC to all of the races. So instead of being like one pack of Regiments of Renown just for high elves, and there'll be like 15 Regiments of Renown, they're going to put out like 3 Nurgle ones, 3 Khorne ones, 3 Zeech ones, 3 Kislev ones, and 3 Ogre ones, or whatever, you know. So a little bit of Regiments of Renown for everybody. And then next time they do it, they'll release a few more for everybody, kind of like spread it out. Strong Team Dog said, post 1.1 responsiveness seems better, but have you noticed how hard it is to get infantry to flank? Poor pathfinding, or is it just me? Yeah, I mean, it is hard to get infantry to flank. They're sort of slow, and they get strung out sometimes, and because the way they move, they don't keep tight enough sometimes, and if they get spread out, then they drag across, and yeah, like it's all fucked up. But if you have to swing around wide, basically, it takes a long time, and yeah, faster infantry obviously are better, but yeah, that's all part of that responsiveness thing, I guess. Okay, so that's 1.2, so that's what's coming in May. Like nothing really exciting or new or anything that's going to be too great. Just a couple of the pain points, I guess, the towers, and a couple of things for Slaanesh. This AI faction anti-player bias, that one could actually be the most impactful one. It could like change the way that you play your campaigns, and you might be able to come up with some different campaign ideas that allow you to use allies more, or whatever. Like. So that could be pretty good. Auto resolve. This one's probably going to be the most actually impactful to people's gameplay experience, because now you're going to be able to actually use auto resolve. So if you play on normal or easy, then you won't have really noticed it. But if you play on hard or very hard, you just like can't use auto resolve in 1.3, and it makes it very if you get into the later parts of the campaign where fatigue starts to set in a little bit, then not being able to auto resolve is a big deal. For me personally, it probably doesn't affect me as much as other people, because I tend to play a lot of early game campaigns, and I also tend to fight like every single battle. Maybe not every single battle, but I probably auto resolve a lot less than most people, because I just love the battles. I love fighting. But yeah, I think that's probably like the number one biggest thing. If they fix the auto resolve, that'd be really good. Probably they'll fix something about the auto resolve, but something else about it will get effed up. Auto resolve is like one of those like cursed things that's just always wrong. It's never quite right. But it'll be good to see if it gets into a good state. Yeah, cavalry are definitely a lot easier to flank with. I played with cavalry and chariots a lot after the 1.1 patch. The main thing that I loved about the 1.1 patch was the impact damage and the improved impact damage or fixed impact damage and the unit responsiveness, making maneuvering in battle more pleasurable. But as I said, when I went back to Warhammer 2, I found it was actually still more pleasurable in Warhammer 2 than in Warhammer 3. So yeah, but they're getting there. It's getting there. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so 1.3. We have one last regular update before moving on to our next major game release. Okay, cool. So basically there's 2 updates before the first DLC comes. 1.3 will give us opportunity to address more fixes, etc. Improved Cathay formation attack. So yeah, Anticity did quite a good video, just illustrating how formation attack was totally broken and makes all of your units really shit. So which is obviously not the, you don't want to have a special ability that makes all your units worse. So that was obviously not intended. So they're going to fix that. So that's good. Skill tree reworks. Yeah. Same sort of thing. We're talking about the tech tree. A lot of the skills aren't very impactful. But a lot of them are, though. A lot of them are. Like what I was saying about a lot of the tech tree things being unimpactful, I don't feel that way with the lords. Like, I feel like all the legendary lords, they get really cool skills, especially in their unique lines. Like, almost all the lords, like, I like, well, all the demonic lords, anyway. I like to, get their unique lines. And they, have some really powerful stuff, like Nikari, like, get some mad skills. Scarbrand, in their unique line. Kugat's got some awesome unique skills. So skill lines are, for the lords at least, they're not too bad. But yeah, I mean, yeah, improvements there would be great to see though. Zeech and Slanesh replenishment rates. This is kind of cool because it's a bit of a more subtle thing that, like with Bretonia, for example, Bretonia Warhammer 3, Warhammer 2, Bretonia still doesn't have anything that can buff their replenishment. They basically, Bretonia is just screwed with replenishment, and it's been that way like the whole time that Warhammer 2 has been since Warhammer 1, right? So I think definitely the whole of Warhammer 2, and they never addressed it, even though it's been brought up many times. And because it's sort of a subtle thing, it doesn't sort of jump out as much. It's not as visual as some things, It's just this sort of slowly getting ground down by not having replenishment. So it's actually really nice that they're actually addressing stuff like that. That's a bit more subtle, I guess. Increasing the frequency of field battles. Okay, so this is one of the ones that is closest to my heart. Again, going to go back and refer to Warmaster Moloch, and I think Grey Book of Grudges might have also had some suggestions for this in his video. They both did videos about like how they would improve Warhammer 3 kind of thing, or suggestions or whatever. But yeah, and I think one of them, Warmaster Moloch, was saying that basically the way he'd do it would be that you would have if it's a walled settlement, then you have the walled settlement sieges. If it's just a normal minor settlement that's like tier 1 or whatever, then it would just be a field battle, no walls, right? Maybe you have a special settlement style field battle, so there'd be like a settlement in the distance or whatever, so you can see that you're fighting outside the settlement, just a bit of a theme or whatever, but there'd be no walls, no towers, no nothing, But if you build the garrison building in the minor settlement, then you get the walled settlement, right? So later on, when you're going around on the campaign map or whatever, most of the AI settlements are not going to have the garrison building, right? So so I reckon something like that. So maybe make it like if a settlement reaches tier 3, or if they build the level 1 garrison building, then you get a minor settlement. You get a minor settlement battle. If it gets to level 3 and they build the level 2 garrison building, then you get walled settlement, same as the walled, something like that. So they haven't said specifically what they're going to do, but I think that something like that would be the way to go. I don't know. Maybe they could do something to do with movement and map design instead, like spread everything out more and make everyone's movement shorter or something like that. But I think that would be really difficult and hard to balance and weird. I think some sort of suggestion like Moloch's one would be better. Strawmate said, are you happy with the roadmap? I expected Bloodpack, Immortal Empires and Lordpack to be months ahead, and it'll be October minimum at this point. The community is raging. Hey, Stormrage, I'm not going to try, it's going to be hard not to talk about my opinions as I go, but I'm going to try and wait till I get to the end of reading it all before I give my overall impressions on it. But yeah, good question. Healthy mix of all types of battles is much needed. Battle-related fixes. Continued focus will be on battle encounters in the game as we continue to improve unit responsiveness and interactions in battles. Watch more for specifics as we get close to 1.3. I don't think they mentioned it in here, but this is another one that I've called out a few times in my streams, and actually Anticity did a video of this on this as well, where if there's any UI elements or any I think it was even the Cathay unit icons. If your mouse goes over the unit icon, you can't click on anything that's underneath it, you know. And it's the same as if like there's like a tree in the way or something, or like you're in a settlement battle and there's towers in the settlement, like, and you click on one of your units and then you move it past like the tower, and then as you try and click again, and you can't click because the tower's in the way, and like, yeah, just they need to do some sort of like unit occlusion, like wall occlusion thing or something, to make it so you can click through terrain and click through you know, like if you drag a box around something, you know, it should just get it if it's in there, even if that's occluded by something. But quite often you try and drag the box and it'll get blocked by something that's on the screen. But anyway, yeah, so I didn't see that anywhere in here, but I wish they would fix that. It's fucking really annoying. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, anyway, like, it's good that they realize that the battles are the big thing, one of the biggest things in the game, and they really need to, you know, address that. So it's good. Total War Assembly Kit, cool. I don't really know anything about modding, but hopefully that means that the modders can do their thing more. Okay, update 2. So this is the first when the first new content comes, major new content comes out. So next major content milestone is update 2.0. Any major release not only comes with continued improvements in the game, etc., but includes major new content additions that change the landscape of Total War Warhammer 3, and come with new fucking bugs, of course. Didn't mention that, but you know, there's going to be a lot of problems with this probably when it comes out, you know. I assume, because it's such a big thing, you know, there's going to be bugs, there's going to be balance issues, all that stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, update 2.0 is Immortal Empires beta. Now this is going to come in late 2022, right? Quarter 3. So what's that? Somewhere between June and September. Okay. If it's June, then that's all right. It's only like a month away. June the 1st. So this is the quarter 3. That means June the 1st. All right. So that's okay. It's 1 month and 4 days from now. So that's perfect. Happy with that. If it's September the 29th, then yeah, I'm not as happy, but that's okay. Like this is the single biggest thing, right? We need Immortal Empires. Warhammer 3's, you know, it's great. It introduces all these new quality of life features, all these new exciting things. July to October, July, August, September. No, there's only 3 months in a quarter, Marihal. So it's July, August, September. Yeah. Good try though. Good try. There's three. I know. Aren't you like a computer programmer? There's 4 quarters in a thing. If it's a quarter, that means 4. Sorry, I was just giving you shit. Anyway, thank you for that though. It was helpful. I was struggling with it, so I shouldn't mock you for trying to help me. Yeah. So Mortal Empires is the thing, right? We need more content. We need it. I've been actually busying myself with Warhammer 3 all this time and having a great time. You know, just finding yeah, June the 1st. It's July the 1st. Sorry, yeah. So 2 months. 2 months and 3 days. That's when it's going to be. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I was giving Maryhill shit for not knowing how many there were, how many quarters there were in a thing, when I don't know how many which half of the year June's in. But anyway. Yeah, I've been keeping myself busy with Warhammer 3. There's heaps to discover in Warhammer 3. There's heaps of new stuff. There's heaps of new mechanics. Like as a like Total War scientist, quote unquote, you know, there's heaps of stuff to experiment with and explore, and it's definitely like could keep me occupied for fucking ages, you know. But it's not the immersion. It's not that immersive, just joyful gameplay experience. Like I don't know, I made the mistake of listening to watching and listening to a bunch of Legends streams last couple of days, and also I played a High Elf campaign, and it's just like got the full nostalgia for Mortal Empires going again. And so yeah, it's like I am continuing to be interested in all the mechanics of Warhammer 3 and wanting to discover more about them and share that stuff with you guys, but like at the same time, there's a strong pull to just want to play my favorite you know, my favorite races, my high elves, my dark elves, my empire, you know. Anyway, all right, let's get, fuck, I'm digressing. Yeah, Mortal Empires, right? So that's what we need, right? Basically, none of this other shit matters, right? Until Mortal Empires comes. Like, fucking, this is the only thing that matters. Mortal Empires. We need it. And basically the game is just on life support until Mortal Empires comes out. I think that's pretty much what everyone thinks. So yeah, interesting that they're putting it out as a beta. I wonder if that means that, you know, they were originally planning on releasing it later, but then they thought, oh, screw it, we've got to get it out faster because everyone's going to lose their shit otherwise. So they're putting it out like as fast as they possibly can, but they're putting it out as a beta because it's going to be kind of half done and buggy and a bit fucked up. Or the other alternative like way of looking at it is that it was always going to come out around this time. Just say it's going to be August, just as an average. You know, maybe it was always going to come out in August, but they were just going to release it in August. But now, because there's been a lot of criticism and everything, they've decided to change it from a release to a beta, so that, you know, when people like inevitably are pointing out all the bugs and problems with it, they can be like, oh, it's not a beta, so it's a work in progress kind of thing. But you know, either way, you know, I don't care really. I just want to be able to play Immortal Empires, you know. I need to be able to play my old favorite factions, and that's the only thing that's going to really make the game awesome for me again, you know. Yeah, Warhammer 3 is interesting. Like, it's interesting. There's a lot of fun to be had there, but it's not on the same awesomeness level as Warhammer 2, you know. And the only thing that's going to get it there is Immortal Empires. So anyway, so that's the biggest part of the news that everyone was really waiting for. Yeah, somewhere between July to September, not June. I had my quarters wrong. Quarter 3 starts in July. Thanks, Mariel. So yeah, they're just explaining what the structure of the beta is going to be. So it's going to merge all the maps and factions from all 3 Warhammer games for those who own them into one, allowing you to deploy the factions you love across a massive combined battlefield. Well, that's what we want, isn't it? This little part here for those who own them. There's been a lot of talk about this, like, so for all you guys, right? You guys all own them all already, right? I made this like weird review video a while ago trying to talk about the same thing, but basically it's like preaching to the choir. Like, it doesn't fucking matter to you guys because you've already bought it all, right? I've already got it all. You know, we've already got it all, right? But the thing is, we want this game to keep flourishing and keeping growing and, you know, keep being revitalized and everything. We want new people to come into the game. And that's what Creative Assembly wants too. They want more sales, you know, they want more Warhammer 3 sales. It's a bit of a problem at the moment because there's a bit of a negative backlash against it, you know, but I'm sure that that'll turn around completely once Immortal Empires comes out if it's good. But for new people that want to get into the game, like they want to play the proper game, right? They want to play the proper Total War Warhammer experience, right? And the proper Total War Warhammer experience is not Warhammer 3. Like, this is the whole point of the other video I made. Like, who gives a shit about Warhammer 3? Fuck Warhammer 3. The Total War Warhammer experience is Immortal Empires. So when you want to get a friend or whatever into the game, you're going to tell them that if you like this game, like, buy whatever you want first, buy Warhammer 3, buy Warhammer 2, try it out, whatever. If you like this type of game, then you want to play Immortal Empires. That's the ultimate version of the game, right? So if a new person comes into the game, I don't want them to buy Warhammer 3 and then wonder why they aren't playing the same game that everybody else is playing, because 99% of the population has moved on and not touched Warhammer 3 ever again, and everyone's playing Immortal Empires, you know? So I want the new person to be able to play Immortal Empires as well. So, you know, I think it would be really nice if when they release Immortal Empires, they bundle 1 and 2 with it for free. Or they make it high, you know, super discounted. So it's like 10%, it costs like $10 to get each of them or something like that. But the thing is, like, and that seems reasonable to us who bought them for full price. You're like, oh yeah, give it to them for $10. But then again, it's like for the new person, it's like, oh yeah, I want to buy this game. Oh wait, now I have to pay an extra $10 for this. I have to pay an extra $10 for this. What the fuck? Why don't they just give me the fucking game so I can play it? You know, like, so I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they should do something with that, you know? But anyway, I'm sure they've got marketing people that have figured out the best possible way to present that's going to get people to buy it. But yeah, I'm not an expert, but I feel like they need to do something, some sort of package. Like, you know how they always do those packages where you buy it and you get like Chaos Warriors together with it or something, you know? Like, I don't know, we sort of ignore it because we already got the games anyway. But yeah, if they do some sort of thing to make it cheaper for people, I think that'd be really good. Immortal Empires is a monumental undertaking, will continue to grow and evolve from the moment it lands in the game. So yes, that's interesting. They're actually acknowledging that it's like really fucking hard, you know, like it's not like they're just like, yeah, we're working away, it's all going according to plan and blah blah. They're like, you know, we've been working on this for a while and it's monumental, it's really hard. So, you know, like that's kind of the vibe I think they were getting from this. It's a big job. They're trying to like port all this stuff over into the Warhammer 3 engine, and you know, to highlight the ongoing focus in developments, we'll initially be making it available as an integrated open beta across all platforms. This initial phase will allow us to focus on updating the balance maps, races, and other areas where we can continue to make adjustments based on player feedback. That's cool. Player feedback, that part, you know, they're acknowledging that they need input from the players. They need to see us playing it to see how it's going to be. And I think that's reasonable. Like, it'd be really nice if they were going to be like, yeah, we're going to release Mortal Empires, it's going to be perfect straight away. But realistically, there's no way that is ever going to happen, you know? They could try, but it would not be perfect, you know? And they would have to patch it. So I think it's kind of makes sense. Like, it's, you know, like when you think about it in those terms, it's like ridiculous to think that they could actually release it and it would not require heaps of patching. So it makes sense to make it a beta, you know? What the fuck, where's the beard? Yeah, man, the beard got deleted. But it's regenerating. I shaved it about like 4 days ago, or so, 5 or 6 days ago. So yeah, it's back. It's coming back soon. I hear you. We were promised a lot during Warhammer 1's early days. It ended up being Immortal Empires. Yeah, exactly. We were promised a lot back before the game started. We weren't promised it was going to come quick, but we promised that it was going to get there eventually. And it wasn't. And Warhammer 1 wasn't that much fun. Like, Warhammer 1 was kind of about the same as Warhammer 3, I reckon. It was pretty cool. It was fun. It was good. It was Warhammer, you know, like it was exciting to have a Warhammer game and everything. But the amount of content wasn't really there, you know. Like, I only played it. Like, it was probably still my main game then, but I still only played it probably about 25% of my total gaming time. Like, it was one game I played the most, but I'd play like Warhammer for a month, then I'd get kind of bored of it, then I'd play Battle Brothers or something else, you know, a couple of months later I'd come back to it, you know. So it was only keeping me occupied like 25% of the time. And then, you know, as Warhammer 2 ramped up, it became more and more to the point where I was just playing Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires 24/7, you know. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's just really painful to go back. Like, when we've kind of built up, and now we're kind of back here building up again, you know. But yeah, I think that's going to be like when we hit this Mortal Empires beta, it's going to jump back up again, and we're going to be kicked back straight into gear. See, it's not going to be like it was the first time, because right now with just Warhammer 3, it's kind of like having just Warhammer 1. It's very limited amount of content, but as soon as that Immortal Empires comes in, it's not going to be like growing slowly over time. It's like going to be like boom. You know, like 20 different factions. You know, like 100 different, or 20 different races. You know, like 100 different factions you can play. Like, straight away, bam! It's going to be crazy. So I don't know. Initially, when I saw this, I was a bit like flabbergasted. Is that the word? Exasperated or whatever, that there's no DLC coming. Like where's the, like, shouldn't there be DLC coming in a month? You know, what's going on? So that's a bit of a bummer that there's no like race pack, like Chaos Dwarfs, you know, race pack. We expected to get Chaos Dwarfs in the next month or two. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. But yeah, just thinking about it now, like, we just need Immortal Empires, basically. As soon as Immortal Empires comes, there's going to be so much content. You know, we're going to have all the content we want. A lot of it will be old content, but like a lot of the race, like all the lords are going to be in different places and stuff. Like, you know, like Malekith will still start in Nagarond, obviously, but like Malice probably won't start in the Dragon Isles. He'll probably start in like the Chaos Wastes, or, you know, somewhere else, you know, based on one of the novels or whatever, you know, like, so all of these other lords that are kind of in weird places could start off in different locations, you know. So yeah, so there's definitely gonna be a lot of new content when Immortal Empires comes out anyway. And also for me, there's also going to be a lot of new stuff to kind of science out, like with the balancing and everything happening, like figuring out which factions are kind of a bit overpowered and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Regiments Renown are instant recruit. Yeah, that's right. Regiments Renown are like mercenary recruitment. So they just pop up straight away. Hey Liz, how you going? Porting all the quest battles is going to be a pain. Yeah, actually, I wonder if that's I wonder how they'll do that, or if they have to just redesign them, or maybe they'll put them in with no quest battles. They could like put all the races over with no quest battles at the start. That'd be pretty crazy. Anyway, I was just trying to think about all the technical like hurdles that they're gonna have to overcome to make this beta work, this Immortal Empires work, but luckily that is not my job. It does seem like it would be a monumental undertaking, as they said, but yeah, excuse me. So initial phase is going to focus on updating the map, balance races and other areas. We continue to make adjustments based on player feedback. Plan is to continue updating the mode over several years, and we want to ensure that those of you who are most excited to play it will have a chance to participate and share in its success. So that's an interesting little phrase there, actually. So they're sort of acknowledging that there's two different parts of the player base. Hey Alexi, there's two different parts of the player base. There's the new players and the sort of more casual players, which are the ones that Creative Assembly is trying to get to buy the game, you know, and just trying to get to buy the DLCs. And those are the people that all the marketing is aimed towards, you know. And then there's all of us that have already bought everything and are already gonna buy everything that comes out as well, probably. But we're possibly going to whinge and bitch about it a lot if we're not happy about it, you know? And in turn, if there's a massive negative sentiment from the community, which is us, like we're the community, there's like customers out there that aren't part of the community yet, and then there's us that are the community now. And yeah, if we're not happy, then we're going to, you know, tell everybody, and that's going to probably put off prospective buyers. So even though they can't sell it to us twice, although I probably will buy it twice anyway, they can't sell it to us twice. It does matter what we think. So I think that's it's good that they're you know, recognizing that, and they've like basically said that this Immortal Empires beta is especially for you guys. This is for us, right? So, and I've noticed that as well. I've noticed that in the contact I've had with people, like new people that come into my streams that I'm playing Warhammer 3, they're like having a great time. They don't know that there's anything wrong with it because they never played a Total War game before. All they know is like, Total War games are fucking awesome. I never played a Total War game before. Total War is amazing. Fuck, this is cool. You know, like they're happy, you know? And it's only the people that have played a lot of Total War games in the past that see that some of the things are, you know, falling short or whatever. So there's like, yeah, there's two different markets basically that they have to appease, you know? So anyway, I'm glad to count myself amongst one of those people who are most excited to play it and definitely wants to be in the beta. I've been saying for a while that I would be very happy if they would just release their most busted ass version of Immortal Empires and just fucking let me at it. I don't give a shit. Like, I know it'll get there eventually. So that's what they're doing. So that's cool. There's a ton to unpack about Immortal Empires, so you can expect more news about it closer to beta release. Next few months we'll be sitting down with the game's DLC game director, Richard Aldridge, so he can share his insight about the project. In the next few months, we'll be sitting down. So I guess that means that they're going to do another blog, and it's going to have the conversation they have with Richard in it sometime in the next few months. I don't know what to make of that. So it's going to take them a few months before they can even tell us what their thoughts are about the DLC. Yeah, I don't know. I'll talk about that a bit more when we get to the DLC part. Also set up some Ask Me Anythings with the team leading up to the beta if they're not too busy, so stay tuned for more news later. Alright, I'm very interested in that stuff, more news, so that's going to be good. Hey, I said hi, Alexi. Okay, here we go. Old World Update 1, Warriors of Chaos. Fucking hallelujah. Thank you, fucking gods of Total War. The Warriors of Chaos have been screwed since the start. Like, they were one of the factions that were released when the game very first came out, Warhammer 1, 2000 and 2015, 2017, whatever it was. You know, and they've been busted the whole time. Like, Warriors of Chaos has been the shittest faction in the game the whole time since Warhammer 1 came out. Like, for 7 years. Like, all these other factions have got, you know, and I wouldn't care so much, like, if it was the Beastmen or Lizardmen or something, because fuck those guys. I don't care about the Beastmen or the Lizardmen. They're not my favorite factions. But Warriors of Chaos is one of my favorite factions. I love those death metal fucking Vikings. They're awesome. So I've been waiting for this. Finally. So when's this? This is still quarter 3, right? Quarter 3, yeah. So quarter 3, along with Immortal Empires, or does it say when it's going to be coming? Starting with update 2. Okay, so it is update 2. Yeah. So update 2 is going to be Immortal Empires, and it's going to be the Warriors of Chaos update at the same time. So that's cool. So they're going to fix Warriors of Chaos. We're assuming that it's going to make Warriors of Chaos not a Horde faction, because the NPC Warriors of Chaos factions are not currently Hordes in Warhammer 3. So I assume that means that they're gonna fix it. Well, Norska was never as shit as Chaos, and Beastmen I never cared about, so who cares? Apologies to all the Beastmen fans out there. I love Beastmen as allies, like for my Chaos Warriors, like, but I don't want to play as Beastmen. Anyway, bring them up to date with the newer ones. These old world updates can include introduction of new systems, units, features, balance, make them more formidable force in the battlefield. As in update 2.0, this initiative begins with the Warriors of Chaos. So you know, Warriors of Chaos will probably get the first update, and then they'll go back through some of the other factions that were the least, you know, updated, I guess. You know, maybe Norska probably still needs an update. Although Norska might be fixed now with the 4% supply lines instead of the 15%, because Norska's primary issue is just economy, you know. So if the economy is like fixed a lot by that 4% supply lines that you get in Warhammer 3 instead of the 15% that you have on Legendary in Warhammer 2, that could be pretty massive. Okay, Blood Pack. So they're releasing a Blood Pack for Warhammer 3, but they've said that if you own any of the previous blood packs for 1 or 2, then it will automatically unlock Blood Pack for number 3, so you don't have to buy it again. So I think that's a change, because I'm pretty sure I had to buy the Blood Pack for 1 and the Blood Pack for 2 separately. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Actually, I can't remember. Is that a change, or was it always like that? Well, anyway, point is, you don't have to wait and buy the Blood Pack for 1 and 3. So if there's a special or whatever on the if there's a special on the Blood Pack for Warhammer 1 or 2, or you can get it for free or whatever, then you get that, and then you don't need to buy the Blood Pack for Warhammer 3. So that's pretty cool. Okay, Lord Pack 1. So this is it. DLC. First DLC. And it's going to be released in quarter 2 alongside the update 2.0. So this is August, perhaps. September 29th at the absolute latest. Unless it gets delayed, obviously. But yeah, so say on average we're saying this is August. So we're going to get Immortal Empires, we're going to get Chaos Warriors updated, so I'll finally be able to play my beloved Chaos Warriors. And I'm going to be able to play my beloved Chaos Warriors and get like allied demon units, allied beastmen units in my actual armies, have like proper Chaos warbands with all of the variety of the Chaos factions and Norska. That'll be really cool. DLC pack. Lord Pack introduces several new legendary lords, normal lords, heroes, and a variety of units to deploy across the grand campaign and multiplayer settings. Watch out for more information, including more about the 4 champions joining the roster as we get closer to its release. So 4 champions. I feel like that's pretty much saying that it's mortal followers of Chaos. So it's going to be one Khorne Lord, one Nurgle Lord, one Tzeentch Lord, one Slaanesh Lord. Yeah, and it'll be like mortal lords being released for each of those Chaos factions. That's what I said. You know, Valkyr the Bloody is going to be one of them. I don't know who the best ones would be. Deshala for Slaanesh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's heaps and heaps of Chaos champions that it could be, but anyway, you get the picture. Actually, maybe not Deshala. He's like a Demon Prince, isn't he? But yeah, anyway, Akold Hellblast, is he a Tzeentch champion? Akold Hellblast was one of my favorite, old school Warhammer Fantasy champions. But anyway, so my prediction for that is that these are going to be 4 mortal lords to go along with the Demons of Chaos. And there's also going to be some sort of more interaction between this like update with the Chaos Warriors and the Demon factions. But I mean, actually, it might not be. I guess it could be. So, like I said, it could be like Valkyria and T'Challa or whatever, and like it could be like 4 Chaos Lords, or it could be like 2 Chaos Lords and 2 Kislev Lords, or 2 Chaos Lords and 2 Cathay Lords. But I guess I just assumed, because they said about the Regiments of Renown thing, how they were kind of like spreading it around. Excuse me. It's not the COVID, I promise. Valky the Bloody, Mask of Slanesh, and the Changeling are 3 that I'm hedging my bets on. Yeah, could be. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to get into speculation, but to any more than I have already. But yeah, Lord Pack, Immortal Empires update for Chaos Warriors. So that's honestly, I quite often find the updates, like the old world updates and stuff in Warhammer 2, to be better than the actual DLCs. Like when the latest Dwarf old world update came out, like that just revitalized the entire Dwarven campaign. It was basically like I got a new DLC that had Belegar, Grombrindle, Thorgrim, and Ungrim in it, and Thorek. Like I got all of those lords in one DLC basically, because it just made dwarves so much more fun to play with all the runes and the and everything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Warriors of Chaos update. Anyway, quarter 4. So this is October, November, December, the end of the year, leading up to Christmas. As we had, hey Gary Dag, okay, remember? Oh, your 6-month anniversary. Just want to jump on and say hello, but I'm off. Oh, no worries, Gary Dag. Thanks a lot for 6 months, man. I really appreciate you supporting the channel all this time. You're like nearly one of the OG members. Well, actually, I guess the channel's been going for about a year and a half now. But, you've been around for a while anyway. Got to play some golf. All right, lovely, man. Okay, so what's going on? Give us a final update. 2.1 gives opportunity to follow its parent update with additional adjustments, continue to expand Immortal Empires, chance to react and respond to community feedback. While exact details are TBD, here's a soft outline of what you can expect. So, it doesn't say anything about... Well, so... Yeah, so it's going to be update 2.1 and Regiments are now 3. So there was Regiments around 1, Regiments around 2, Regiments around 3. So they're going to keep putting out like Regiments around where they give you a couple of Regiments around for each different faction. So all of the factions kind of equally get upgraded with Regiments of Renown. That's cool. With so many big... Oh, wait up. So the soft outline of update 2.1 is just Regiments of Renown 3. That's weird. So I thought with update 2.1 they'd be saying they're going to continue to update Immortal Empires, but they're not going to. So they're not saying anything about releasing Immortal Empires as a non-beta, like making it go gold or whatever. So that's interesting. Like, so even after 3 months of beta, they're not necessarily making any plans for the Immortal Empires to not be beta anymore. So then beyond that, update 2.2 or 3. With so many big beats dropping in 2022, we're aiming to pull together one final release to wrap up the year in the fourth quarter. This will be either a major release, update 3.0, or a smaller 2.2 release with its own set of content and fixes. Regardless of which path we choose, one major focus will be either the Immortal Empires game mode, which will be seeing big improvements in the last build of the year. One major focus of either will be Immortal Empires game mode. Yeah, I wonder what that means. I'm guessing that means that maybe they'll have finished Immortal Empires to the point where they think they can bring it out of beta. And so if they do, then that will be update 3.0. It'll be like update 3.0 Immortal Empires. And then that will release Immortal Empires to the general public. Of course, we'll all have been playing the beta, for the last 6 months or whatever up until then. But yeah, that'll be when like the general public gets Immortal Empires, and hopefully at that point then they'll also release, like they'll do a special deal so it's very cheap for new people to get into, like very reasonable for new people to get into. and beyond. It's too early to talk about 2023, but we can see plenty of projects on the schedule that stretch into 2023 and beyond. Don't worry, we'll revisit this timeline several times throughout the year, both the highlight projects and let you know if things have been changed. Chat system dominations. This is for multiplayer battles. Hey Osiris, just wanted to thank you for the great content and the chill streams. Thank you, man, and thank you for the generous super chat, £20 super chat. Very, very generous, man. Thank you. Multiplayer, investigating how to share matchmaking queue and rating between Dominion and land battles, so stay tuned. Yeah, so I don't really know much about that, but yeah, they're basically trying to bring the old land battle maps into Warhammer 3. That kind of harks back to that question somebody said about how they're going to put the quest battles in. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if it's even the same system, or like if they have to remap all of the actual zones, or how it's going to work, but yeah. Final word. Couple of today. I want to leave you with final thought from Richard Aldridge. All right, let's read that. I'll read the thing. This is just a bit of like, emotional stuff, but we'll. It's not like there's no like more details in here or anything, but we'll read it anyway. Dear Total War Warhammer community, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your continued support and patience following the release of Total War Warhammer 3. Having taken over the post-launch development of Warhammer 3, my team has readjusted its original gaze and focus to improve the experience of the game, based off the feedback we've received from you and continue to receive. But in doing so, this has led to a knock-on effect with our original planned roadmap of new DLC for the game, hence the lack of info on this until now. Now that our first major patch has gone live, 1.1, and with more on the way over the coming months, the DLC team is furiously gearing up to transition back to doing what they do best, working on new and exciting content that will see Total War Warhammer 3 supported for years to come, with fan-favourite characters, races, unique mechanics and narratives being added, along with an unhealthy dose of special surprises too. The team and I understand that actions speak louder than words, and our aim moving forward is to ensure that we deliver regular new content and game updates throughout the year, which expand your options, focus on quality, fix, improve and maintain the game experience based on your feedback. Likewise, we aim to keep you much more up to date with our thoughts, developments and desires via improved communications, whether they be changes we plan to make to the game or setbacks changes that we may encounter along the way. I can't wait to share more gifts with you soon. The team and I are championing at the bit. Rich. We hope this has all been useful. Look forward to sharing more of what we have in store as we continue to make the game better and better for everyone. The Total War team. Yeah, I certainly think that this was useful. All this information was really good to get. Yeah, this is is Rich Rich? Is that Rich Aldrich? The DLC game director? Yeah, okay. Having taken over the post-launch development of Warhammer 3, my team, as in the DLC team, has readjusted its original gaze and focus to improve the experience of the game based off the feedback we have received from you and continue to do so. But in doing so, it's led to a knock-on effect with our original planned roadmap of the new DLC for the game, hence the lack of info until now. Okay, so I guess that means that Bone Apple Tea, yeah, exactly. I guess that means that the like game designing team, like the team that made Warhammer 3 originally, they've moved on now to start working on, Total War 40k or whatever, and the game was supposed to be finished at that point, and then the DLC team was supposed to start pumping out like Chaos Dwarves, Warriors Chaos Update, Lord Packs, all that stuff was meant to be like, probably already released now, but because there were so many problems with the game launch, they had to fix it all, and the main game team can't come back and fix it because they're working on Warhammer 3 or Three Kingdoms or whatever they're doing now. So the DLC team had to do it instead. And so yeah, so I don't know why, but that sort of somehow makes me feel better. So initially when I saw this roadmap and I saw that we're not going to get Immortal Empires till like August. It's not that far away. It's like 3 months. We're not going to get Immortal Empires till August. We're not going to get our first DLC till August. first major update. You know, there's not going to be any new content basically till August. So the game's basically still kind of on life support, right, for the next 3 months or so. They're basically fixing what's in there now. So it's like new people who buy the game are probably going to enjoy it more. But the people that are sort of old veterans that have problems with Warhammer 3 are probably still going to have problems with it. You know, they've fixed a few things. We're like, yeah, cool. But there's still no new content. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so like that idea of the 3-month wait for new content, and then not even a race pack, you know, like, and like, so race packs not even by the end of the year. So then like sometime next year we get the Chaos Dwarves, and I'm like, fuck, how far back, you know? So that was kind of my initial thought when it was like, oh shit, are they like backing out of it? Are they like not going to do any DLC or whatever? But this kind of reassures me, yeah, like it's like, no, the DLC team, which is the team we want, like they're still here, right? The game team, they fucked off, but the DLC team is the team we want, and they're still here. And another thing about that, like when with Warhammer 2 as well, like when the DLC team took over, like Rich's team took over, that's when shit started to get real. Like that's when Warhammer 2 started to just get ballistically awesome. Like, I don't know, I can't really remember exactly which DLC it was, but I seem to, there's certain ones, like I remember like the Skate, like the Ikit Claw DLC, when they came out, it was like big steps above like the old DLC from like Warhammer 1 and stuff, you know. And there was multiple different stages where new DLC and updates, old world updates, and you know, game updates and DLC came out that just can dramatically just boosted the game into the stratosphere, you know. Like the Potion of Speed update was obviously a massive one. I'm trying to think of another, like there's like at least like 3 or 4 different ones. The latest dwarf one was another massive one, just totally revitalized dwarves for me. And yeah, so anyway, point being, that actually kind of makes me feel better, because last time the DLC team was the team that fucking made it. Like the DLC team was the team that made Warhammer 2 Immortal Empires like a fucking amazing game. You know, I mean, not to take anything away from the main game team that designed the whole fucking game in the first place. Like that, you know, that's great. But I was gonna make a point of, yeah, Claw, definitely. I was gonna make a point about this before. It's like, it's hard because there's all these things that need to be fixed. Like a lot of these points in here that I pointed out, but I didn't get very excited about. You know, like the single entity lords being able to target each other properly, and flying things being able to land and attack and all that kind of crap. Like that stuff is all stuff that you need, and it's really crap if it doesn't get fixed. But when you fix it, you don't get any recognition for it. You know, like everyone's like, yeah, well, it should have already been fixed in the first place. You know, so like. That's the thing, like, you know, and that's sort of the thing with the main game team that like designed all this stuff under the hood, you know, and put it out there, but they you know, they don't really get that much recognition, you know. When the new content comes out and we're like, Chaos Dwarves, oh my god, I'm losing my mind, Chaos Dwarves, you know, like that's when they're going to get all the recognition. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I don't know, it's obviously this is not, it's just, I know. I guess it comes down to how much you trust, like Richard Aldridge. Whether you think he's like just blowing smoke up your ass, or he's actually like being really sincere. But like, I don't know. Last time I read one of these things from Rich, like, you know, he did it. You know, he made it awesome, and I think he's gonna make it awesome again. So that's cool. Anyway, but we've got a lot of waiting to do. We've got to have a lot of patience. Gonna have like, yeah, 3 months wait till any new content comes out. Yeah, it just depends. If those of you who want to like hang out with me as we explore Warhammer 3, discover the ins and outs of all the new mechanics, the quality of life improvements, and you know, just like how everything works, you know, and then, you know, hang out and we'll have a lot of fun with doing that. But you know, the people that want a more polished gameplay experience, or that are just waiting for the new content or whatever, like, yeah, that's gonna be you know, when the update 2 comes out, and Immortal Empires, Warriors of Chaos, and the DLC. That's when the big new content comes. So yeah, so for those of you who are going to come back then, I'll see you then. For those of you who want to hang out with this much smaller group that want to hang out in the meantime and just play around with Warhammer 3 and see what we can do with it, how it goes under the hood, then you know, I'll be here. I'll be exploring that. Although I am probably going to play. a fair bit of Warhammer 2 as well. So I'm gonna oh shit. in about yeah, probably in actually maybe pretty soon. I might just have a short break and then I'll get straight into it. I was gonna play I was gonna stay stream at my normal time, but I kind of feel like there's no point going to bed now. I may as well just play on. So yeah, I'll end this stream and then I'll start a Warhammer 2 stream. So yeah, what like it's Legend's fault. He's fucking got me hooked on Warhammer 2 again now. So yeah, I'm gonna play some Dark Elves, I think, just to you know, see my enjoyable nostalgia for Dark Elves come back. So yeah, so if any of you guys want to join me for that, yeah, new stream should be up. I'll schedule it. I'm not sure if I'll start it straight away, but I'll, you know, in the next 5 or 10 minutes it'll be scheduled, and I'll probably start in, I don't know, probably start in 20 minutes, or maybe I'll have an hour break or something. But yeah, so if you want to talk some more about these updates with each other or with me, I'll be playing Dark Elves, and you can join me and chat about it if you want. Thanks so much, guys, and thanks for the big super chat, Osiris. Very generous, man. Much appreciated. And thanks Gary Dag for still being a member after all these months, and thanks a lot to all the other members and mods and regulars